Today we have a really fascinating video that I think is going to help a lot of you, and that is on how to charge more for your social media marketing or just agency services in general. So naturally, who wouldn't want to charge more? Charge more, you can work with fewer people, you have room to hire better team members, deliver better results, you make more money. It's just naturally going to be a desire for any business owner. And a lot of people just don't know how to charge more. They fall into this trap where they're competing on guarantees and they're pricing crazy and they have commoditized offers, and they really struggle with how to go from an agency that charges, $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month to somebody who's able to charge, really big premiums and still deliver great results to their clients. And that's something that I've been able to do with my agency, really increase my prices and value in parallel. So let's go ahead and dive into a few topics. One will be the problem with competing on pricing guarantees, talk about how to charge more, how to do fulfillment, and also have a couple bonuses here, which I think will be really relevant. So let me go ahead and flip on my screen share. Okay, so how to charge more for your SMMA services. So first, let's talk about the problem with competing on pricing guarantees. So the battle to be the cheapest means you'll never be able to scale or deliver good results. I mean, no one really wants the cheapest thing. People just get the cheapest thing because it's what they need if they're in a bad position. So do you really want to be the cheapest agency? I mean, if you're the cheapest agency, you're never going to be able to scale probably, because you can't spend any money in marketing because you have no margin when you actually do acquire a customer. And you won't be able to deliver good results because unless it's just you doing the work and not getting paid, you can't actually hire good people. You're going to have to hire the cheapest people. And the cheapest people, even with the best training, are not going to deliver the best results. So you're never going to be able to scale when you're the cheapest. Also, another thing I see people do is the battle to have the best offer. Now, I love the book $100 Million Offer. It is a great book. There's a lot of legitimate resources in it, but I think a lot of people have this misinterpretation that's kind of sprung up over the last, let's say, 2.5 years, where I'm going to start an agency and I'm just going to have some crazy offer, but I really don't know how it works. I don't know how to do fulfillment. I'm just going to make it up because it sounds nice, and more people continue to do that and copy those offers. It just creates this rabbit hole of illegitimate offers with crazy guarantees that no one can actually do, and they either refund or don't refund. And it just means you're racing to the bottom. So sometimes if you're an agency of like 2-3 clients, you see all these other agencies, which you might not know, but they don't actually have any clients, and you see them with these crazy offers like, do I have to do that? And it just creates this race to the bottom, which no one wants to do with either pricing or crazy guarantees. Not to mention these guarantees, they set unreasonable expectations of your clients very often. So let's talk about how we can charge more, also without having the best, craziest offer, which a lot of people try to do. So first off, I want to say there's a lot of legitimate ways you can charge more. In this video, I'm going to focus on one in particular, but just to give kind of a high-level overview here, you can increase your social proof, which would mean, you're able to charge more and maybe not do such a crazy guarantee. People naturally trust you because of case studies and video testimonials and third-party reviews like Clutch or Trustpilot. Maybe you're on podcasts, your branding looks professional, social media followers, whatever. You deliver better results. There's agencies that charge $10,000 a month because they make their clients $100,000 a month. If you can deliver better results, you can charge more. You can also brand yourself as premium. There's definitely ways to look like a premium agency compared to like a Fiverr service seller in terms of your website and how you position yourself and just in general. You can work with larger businesses. If you're working with mom and pop versus Fortune 500, even doing the same service, Fortune 500 is going to have budget and likely going to be able to pay more. You can also increase your lead flow to handle a lower closing rate. You can close at a lower rate at 2 times the price, and it's going to make more sense and take less work. So those are a few things. But there's one way that I've been able to literally 3x my prices, and I've seen very few agencies consider this. So that is what I want to focus on today, and let's get into it. So the what is it question. Building your service delivery system and infrastructure into a client's business as opposed to managing things as an outsourced partner. This is something we've been doing for a bit over 6 months now, and Our clients love it. It's been great for us, our margins, our profitability, how much we can charge. It's just great. So what actually does this mean? This means that rather being an agency where we're just doing a service on a monthly base, on a monthly retainer, we're going to set up the systems and infrastructure, so the processes, the skill, the strategy, everything into our client's business, so either them or their team can manage it internally. Now, this is going to allow you and your client both to have benefits. For you, you're going to charge more because you're doing something that's significantly more valuable and it's not a recurring expense, so you can charge more up front. You have to do less fulfillment because you're having a repeatable system you're just placing in businesses, so it's significantly less fulfillment. You're going to have better margins because you're doing less fulfillment. You need to hire less people, which means you have higher margins and you're charging more. You're going to have an easier sales process because the value proposition for this is just crazy. And you can throw away your crazy guarantee, which is even better. And then you can scale like crazy with minimal operational headaches because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's just way more scalable than normal agency retainer work. So what does it allow your client to do? Your client is going to own a system that increases their enterprise value. So when they go to sell their company one day, they don't have to say, oh yeah, our leads coming from an outsourced vendor and we don't control it. They can say, we own this process and we manage our costs internally. They can control the scale of this. They can turn it completely on or completely off or double or whatever they want to do. They're also going to have significantly lower costs. It's almost always going to be cheaper to hire internally for these things. And it's going to allow them to lower their costs as opposed to hiring you as an agency. And they also get to retain full control. Anybody that's worked with our businesses know how much people like to control things. And this will let them do that. And it's a win-win. So let's give an example here. Let's say that we have somebody selling a retainer or an infrastructure setup, which I like to call it. So generally the way these infrastructure setups work is you charge a flat fee to set up the infrastructure, whether that be infrastructure to run Google ads or infrastructure to send cold emails or infrastructure to repurpose content. This can be done with pretty much any service. You charge a setup fee, which is normally around $10,000 to $20,000. And then you do a consulting retainer, which gets somebody comfortable running on their own as you train them or their team. And then after that, you normally do a lower, just like tech support, or even an hour call a month. So hypothetically, say retainer's $3,000 a month, and then for infrastructure, it's $12,000. So first month, obviously, it's more expensive for infrastructure setup. Then the second and third month, we have the $1,500 consulting retainer, and then we just have a single monthly phone call at $300. So total cost over 6 months, it's going to already be more for the retainer than it is for infrastructure setup. And then the total cost over 12 months, it's going to be double, basically, to the retainer compared to the infrastructure setup. So it makes significantly more financial sense for a business to then own this process internally, not to manage. They can control things however they want. So it also, showing a graph like this makes it pretty easy to justify to your client. And this is not even considering the enterprise value of having this in-house. This is just purely to run. So let's talk about how fulfillment actually works. So you should be supplying your client with a fully self-sufficient infrastructure to deliver a service you provide a value. Now, I really want to emphasize with a self-sufficient infrastructure, the goal here is to put your client in a position where they no longer need you. That is the goal. That is where it's valuable. If you are required to do 20% and they always need you, that is significantly less valuable to them. And ideally, this is even added bonus, ideally, depending on the company size too, this isn't something that the business owner runs themselves. Rather, it's something that they hire a full or part-time person who's more affordable for you to manage. You know, let's say that you can hire a VA at $600 a month that with your systems and processes can perform as well as you or your team would. That's super valuable. And you should be building them the whole operating system. So how do the pieces move in order to do fulfillment? The SOPs. So when things go wrong or I have questions, where do I go? The initial strategy, so using your experience and knowing what works to build your strategy that can be built upon after that, and then validating the process. And you do this validation where you manage things initially to prove they work while you train your replacement. Let's give an example for a short form content agency. So someone is doing content repurposing, let's say like shorts repurposing. Let's say you charge $1,500 a month and you deliver your client 30 short form content videos. You have a full-time team based in the Philippines. You pay each of them $600 a month. Each full-time team member can produce 60 short-form content videos per day. Sorry, this is supposed to be per month. This means for 30 short form content videos, it'll cost you $300 a month. So you could then charge a client a fixed rate where you will set up all the tech needed for video production, provide an operating system for managing short form content production. So you have the tech needed, you have an operating system to manage the production timeline, you create detailed SOPs on how to manage and troubleshoot short form content, you build a strategy, you train someone to manage, and then your client can now have a full short form content system that they have essentially a part-time employee doing for $300 a month. That's a ton of value. So you normally charge $1,500 a month, but they could have it for $300 a month. They just need these systems. So how much on your end could you charge for these systems? $4,000, $5,000? And what are the deliverables? It's copy and paste. Your margins are huge. You don't need people. You just need 1-2 people to do this. Like, you don't need a huge team. But for your client, they went from $1,500 a month to $300 a month. And when they want to scale to 60 to 90 to 150 short form content videos a month, they have the same infrastructure needed, and they don't have to pay this multiplied times whatever volume of content they want. That's how valuable this is. So you can just sell this over and over again. It's so repeatable. The fulfillment will literally take hours. You can charge a premium for it, and it's super valuable for your client. It is just a complete win-win, and I don't see many people doing this, which is just shocking to me. Now, a couple things to add on here. To continue to support your client and have some MRR, because I know everybody's like, I want MRR, but you're charging enough here that it would equal your total lifetime value, whatever. You can charge a consulting retainer. I normally do this for around 2 months, and then after that, having either an hourly rate or just like a tech support rate would be fine. But this system right here is just so good. Setting up infrastructures. It can work for Google ads. It can work for cold email. It can work for YouTube ads. It can work for finding influencers, finding affiliates. Whatever service you have, it's just taking the process you'd run your agency with and putting them in your client's business. So there's a lot of ways to charge more without having to compete on crazy guarantees and lower your pricing to $100 a month. And this is the one that I would say I'm most excited about and I recommend the most. Now, if you want help actually taking this concept and applying it to your agency and then selling a lot of it, the best place to go would be Grow B2B. Grow B2B is the coaching program I run with my business partner, Felipe, where we help you put together your offer, do great outreach, get a lot of sales calls, and close a lot of deals, and then fulfill with great systems. So that is what we can do to help. If you are interested and you like the sound of this, go ahead and grab a call, and we'll talk to you. And for more content, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.